You may already be seeing headlines that Anthropic could be releasing Mythos today or sometime in the near future. And if you're anything like me, you are probably asking, what exactly is Mythos and why is everyone suddenly talking about it? Well, before we get into that, we need a little bit of a background. Earlier this year, 2026, Anthropic began talking about a new AI system called Mythos. What made people interested or even pay attention was not just the performance of the model, it was the company's apparent caution around releasing it. According to Anthropic, Mythos demonstrated unusually strong capabilities in areas like software engineering, cybersecurity, and vulnerability discovery. In fact, the company initially limited access to a small group of trusted organizations instead of just making it publicly available. And naturally, that raises a question, because what exactly is Mythos doing that makes it so powerful? Powerful enough that even the company that built it appears to be taking a very cautious approach towards releasing it. Now, before we continue, I should point out that Anthropic has not released a detailed technical paper on Mythos yet. So nobody outside the organization knows exactly how it works. But what we can do is make some educated guesses based on what researchers have been discovering over the last few years. The first thing to understand is that AI is changing. A lot of people still think of AI as a chatbot. You ask a question, it gives you an answer, and basically that is how ChatGPT felt when it first came out. But increasingly, frontier AI systems are becoming less like chatbots and more like researchers or even infrastructures. Let me explain. Suppose that I give you 1,000,000 pages of computer code and ask you to find a security vulnerability. You would probably not know where to start. In fact, even experienced security researchers and analysts spend weeks or even months auditing large software systems. But AI models do not read codes the way that we do. Researchers have shown for several years now that large language models can learn patterns in programming languages in much the same way that they learn patterns in human language. An example of this is an article released by OpenAI in 2021 on Codex and another one on CodeGen, which shows that this system can generate, understand, and debug codes at surprisingly high level. In simple terms, the AI has seen so much code that it begins to recognize what looks normal and what looks suspicious. Think of it like an experienced doctor who, after seeing thousands of patients, now begins to notice subtle signs that other people may miss. AI is doing something similar with software. But pattern recognition alone does not explain Mythos. The second piece of information is what researchers call agentic behavior. And this is where things get interesting, because old AI systems answer questions, new AI systems investigate. And instead of just responding to a prompt, an AI agent can read files, test ideas, run tools, check results, revise its conclusion, and continue working towards a goal. In other words, it can behave more like a junior analyst than a chatbot. And researchers have shown this through a system called React and SWE-Agent, where AI models are given tools and allowed to reason through problems step by step. So if Mythos is using similar techniques, it would explain why Anthropic believes it is unusually effective at vulnerability discovery. The third piece is long context reasoning. Imagine trying to solve a puzzle where you can see only one piece of information at a time. That is how many earlier AI systems worked. Modern systems can usually examine huge amount of information simultaneously. And this is important because software vulnerabilities rarely exist in isolation. A bug might begin with one file, interact with another file, and then only become dangerous when a third system is involved. The more information a model can keep in view, the better chances it has at spotting disconnection. And then finally, there is reinforcement learning. This is probably the biggest shift in modern AI. Instead of just learning from text collected from the internet, models increasingly learn by trial and error. They try something, receive feedback, improve, then try again. And this process is honestly not different from how we humans learn. So the result is that modern AI systems are becoming better at reasoning, planning, and solving complex problems instead of just generating text. So when you put all of the pieces together, a picture starts to emerge. Mythos is probably not powerful because of one breakthrough. It is powerful because of several breakthroughs being combined all at once. So we are seeing better reasoning, better tool use, reinforcement learning, better long context understanding, better agentic behavior. And when all of these capabilities are stacked together, the system begins to look a lot less like a chatbot and more like a researcher, which brings me to the part that I find most fascinating. For years, AI competed with humans in writing, drawing, translation, and conversation. What Mythos suggests is that AI may now be competing with humans in discovery. Not scientific discovery, at least not yet, but the discovery of things that humans do not already know. And if machines become increasingly good at discovering things we do not know, then the bigger question is no longer how intelligent these systems are. The biggest question is what happens when machines begin producing knowledge faster than humans can understand.